So, hi everyone. So, I got this email and they were like, please help. And so I thought, what an interesting question. And I know it's something that I have struggled with. I'm not going to share any names, but I wanted to bring this to you guys and see your input and then to answer them and really give my concerted effort to provide some feedback to them. So here's the question. It says, I have a question. How do you get your board to be more in tune with the executive director? As a staff person, I don't see where the ED is held accountable to the board in his timeline, projects, etc. And as a staff person, I feel like I am being made to be the scapegoat because the ED makes sure that the board never comes in contact with me. My position is donor development accounting. ED says, or I will relay all information. So, yeah, it's a loaded question. So I want to start off by honoring the question and honoring what I know to be true. The only employee that the board has is the CEO, the executive director. All other employees of the organization is the CEO's employees. So your CEO has decided, as you are his employee, has decided that, and it is right that they've set the culture that there is no contact with the board. He is the liaison with the board. Okay, so that's the framework in which you are working from. Now, I've had a resource development position, and my resource development position did come to the board meetings, and they did a report to the board, right? So that's one. I physically had them come to the board meeting to do a report to the board. That was my choice as the ED. I've seen where also the resource development person might provide a written report to the board, right? So that they are staying abreast. But what really struck me in your question was that you're questioning if the ED is being held accountable and you feel like that you're being um, thrown under the bus as a scapegoat. You said scapegoat, not thrown under the bus. So I'm going to use your words as a scapegoat. I want one to say that resource development is hard. And sometimes our EDs and our board members expects the resource development position to raise all the money because they don't feel comfortable with fundraising. And that's unfair because it does take a team approach. So it takes a team approach. It is you as the coordinator for resource development. But they go out, you coordinate the meetings, they go out and they do the meetings, right? They are the credibility and they are the face of the organization. That is what it looks like in an ideal world. And what I'm gathering is it might not be an ideal world for you at this moment. And so it's very hard for you. So let me give you some concrete examples or some concrete things that I think that perhaps that you can do. One is there a resource development committee, board committee? And if there is not a board committee, then perhaps you can talk to your executive director and be proactive in the approach of, I would love to create a resource development committee where that I am the staff liaison with that committee, and so that we can get this charter work done that I'm responsible for. And now as the ED, they very well can attend those meetings. They do attend a meeting. ED should attend all the meetings, and when they start feel comfortable with the situation, then it would just be you attending those meetings if they don't have time. But that's one approach that you can do. And if you're not currently providing a written report for the board, maybe you can start providing a written report to the CEO on where you're at, and ask that be put into a board report. But what it sounds like, and not what you asked me, is there's some trust issues that are that exists between you and the CEO of the organization. And you really have to work on that, because it is a team effort, and you have to be able to trust him, and he has to be able to trust you. But you also have to be supported, and that support looks like, because I hate when people say, well, support me. I want to clearly define what that support looks like. That support looks like I need to be able to share with the board where we're at and what some of the challenges are, because as the resource development person, I'm here to help coordinate all this and help move this fundraising ball forward. But I cannot do fundraising the way it needs to be done without their influence, right? Because fundraising is it's more than grant writing. It's more than special events. It's about building those individual relationships. And how can you build those individual relationships if you don't know the board's circle of influence? And that's another thing that you can do as well. You can say, if the committee angle doesn't work, you can say you would love to provide some fundraising training to the board. And if they could, if allowed, you would love to have some time on the board meeting agenda where you can come and do some fundraising training. So those are two concrete options. Talk about a committee, or talk about actually three. Talk about a research development committee that you are the liaison for, and that's your committee, and y'all work together. Talk about coming in and doing some board education, and talk about having a report that's presented to the board packet. And actually, I said four. But the four ain't gonna work, because they clearly said that you don't need to be at the meetings, and they are that person. And that's their right. I just really want to say that's their right as the CEO to make that request. I know I kind of stumbled through that question and that answer, but I am processing, and that is my true opinion on the matter. I would love to hear what others have to say. People who sit in that chair as a resource development person, consultants that are in my circle out there. How would you answer that question? Because this person has asked for help, and I really want to curate a lot of options that I can give them, because I want to help them. So if you have any input on this matter as you're looking at this, drop it in the comments, please. And so we can help, and we can make sure that we get this question answered. But I think that is what I would say and I would do in this situation. And so I truly hope that helps you. I talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.